We are going to take a quick walk into my garage because I got to show you something. It's the middle of October, excuse me, lady, and I found something in my freezer the other day. Hey, you ever buy a chunk of meat and throw it in your freezer and just forget about it? Well, I did that with this almost $200 prime rib roast. It's a 3-bone prime rib roast. I bought it early December of last year, 2024. It is now October 2025, and it's been sitting here ever since, rock solid. There's even some holes in the packaging here where things probably got tossed on top of it. I mean, it's not as old as this pork shoulder down here from November of 2022. Remember when pork used to be $1.59 a pound? Yeah, those days are gone. Anyways, we're going to see if we can't resurrect this chunk of meat. I'm going to take it out, put it in the refrigerator, let it thaw for a few days, and then we're going to go ahead and cook it in a Weber Kettle over coals. We're going to use our rotisserie ring. So we're going to rotisserie cook this thing. We're going to see if we can make this into a delicious prime rib roast and save it. So here we go. Okay, let's get a close look at what we're about to cook. I took this out of the freezer last Wednesday after being in there for almost a year, and I let it thaw until Friday, and then I took it and I dry brined it. So it's been dry brining for a good 48 hours now, and what a dry brine is, if you don't know, it's very simple. You just take your beef and you coat it with salt. You can still see some of the salt crystals on here. That's this Kosher Salt flake. You just pack it on there. It'll stick to the moisture, and it draws the moisture out of the meat, and then it starts reabsorbing and putting the salt into the meat, and it adds flavor. So we're going to see how this works out. I decided we're going to go ahead and we're going to cook this rotisserie with this new OnlyFire Rotisserie ring. If you look at my channel, you'll see this is only the second time I've used it. So in the video I just posted where I cooked a chicken, you can see it brand new, but after one cook, this is what it looks like, and it worked really, really great for that rotisserie chicken. So I'm very excited to see how it's going to come out with this prime rib roast. All right, basically what we're going to do is we're going to rinse off this prime rib here with Worcestershire sauce and just kind of brush off the last little bits of salt flake that's on there. And then we're just going to go ahead and coat it with a nice coating of, this is a fresh ground pepper and garlic powder. Those are the only two seasonings that we're going to be putting on there. And then we're going to get it in the rotisserie. But before we do that, I'm going to let it sit for a couple hours, let the temperature come up a little bit, let these seasonings kind of, really bond to the surface of the meat really well. Hopefully get a little more flavor penetration, and then we'll get it in that rotisserie. We'll see how it goes. So let's get that going right now. And then I think there's a couple other things I'm going to want to do in the rotisserie and in the offset smoker. I know it is now the middle of October. November's coming up really soon, and I'm going to want to see how well a whole turkey comes out in the Weber Kettle with the rotisserie. And I've also got a duck I want to do. I think I'm going to go ahead and smoke a goose in the offset smoker, and I also want to do another pig. It's been a minute since I've done a whole suckling pig in the offset smoker, so we're going to do that real soon also. So make sure you stay tuned and like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Well, only like it if you like the video, all right? Subscribe if you like what I'm doing here. I like to do my cooks, nothing too fancy, just real, actual backyard barbecue stuff that you would be doing at home too. Not very gimmicky. This is not a sponsored video, by the way. I've been approached a lot of times, and I've considered doing a few because there's a few brands and products that I really like that I use. I wouldn't mind partnering up with them and getting a little extra income for the channel, but I don't like doing these gimmicky sponsorships where I just sell anything, or I'm not into that. I don't think you're into that, or hopefully you're not. I don't know. If you are, let me know, okay? If you want me to do a bunch of sponsorships and try different stuff out, I'd be open to it, whatever. I'm here to do what you guys like, all right? So let me know. Okay, now the Worcestershire sauce did a good job of kind of helping me rub off the extra salt flake, and it's also going to help get this garlic powder and pepper to stick to the meat. So let me just start with the bottom side, because that's how I'm going to end up leaving it, and then I'm going to need to figure out how to get it on the rotisserie so it's balanced as nice as possible. So I'm going to want to kind of figure out where the center of mass is on this thing, and see how it rotates as smoothly as possible. We're going to really test this thing out because this roast is heavy. So feel if the rotisserie can handle a roast like this, maybe can handle a whole turkey as well. So there we go. That looks good. Let's do the sides. That looks nice. Beautiful. And I'll get plenty on the top and finish rub it around. Now there's no salt in this mixture of garlic powder and pepper because we don't want to make this thing too salty. It's already absorbed plenty of salt with that dry brine. So I'm thinking this will be good. There, all right. We're gonna let this sit for a couple hours and let the temperature come up a little bit, and then we will get it on the rotisserie. As I mentioned, we're going to be cooking this prime rib in a Weber Kettle. This is the 22-inch Master Touch. We're going to have that thing turning over the coals using the OnlyFire Rotisserie ring here. And for the coals, we're going to be burning the Kingsford Charcoal, just regular original Kingsford Charcoal. Again, this is not a sponsored video. I just happen to really like Kingsford Charcoal. I've had great success with it. Works well for me. You go ahead and use whatever you want to use, okay? It's your choice. And but hey, having said that, Kingsford, if you guys are listening, I would love a tour of your factory. I'd love to see how you guys make this stuff. All right, I'm going to be using about a chimney full of charcoal. So this is the Weber Rapid Fire, the regular size one here, and so I got about a chimney full of charcoal there. And then for a little extra flavor, I found these are the Jealous Devil smoke wood blocks. I didn't even know they made these, but these are whiskey barrel, this actual whiskey barrel chunks. So I'm going to put 3 or 4 down there in the fire and see if that doesn't add a little extra flavor to the mix. I used the smoke and red wood chips on that rotisserie chicken that I did in my last video, and man, those really did give a nice extra kick of flavor to the chicken. So super happy with that. I'm very interested to see how this works out, and we'll get these charcoal lit up and we'll get going here in a minute. All right, charcoal's good and hot. Let's get it in the kettle. Okay, gonna go ahead and get the grate out of the way. We're not going to use this for today's cook. There we go. All right, the spit is going to be running this way, just right across like this. So I'm going to arrange the charcoal just like I did with that chicken the other day. So it's kind of mostly down the middle here with a little bit on the sides. And we'll get our rotisserie ring in place. And now let's just go ahead and close up the lid and get that fire to calm down a little bit. All right, for the vents, I've got the top vent over here just barely open. It's just open maybe 25%. And down below, the bottom vent, I've got that one just barely open also on my number 1 hole there, which is a very slow airflow there. We got our prime rib roast prepped up and ready to go into the kettle, and as you can see here, I decided to run the spit rod through the roast parallel to the bones. I was originally thinking that I was going to put it in this way and run it this way through the roast, but then I got to thinking that's going to make it a little bit more difficult for it to turn with the weight being so extreme on the outsides of the rod. And then also, I wouldn't be getting a good cook and char on the sides of the roast over here because it would be rotating, you know, with these sides, not really getting like full fire. This way, but running it long ways, I feel like the balance was a lot easier to achieve. It feels like it's just slightly heavy on one side a little bit right there, but I think it's going to rotate nice and smoothly. And as you can see, I also inserted a couple of the ThermoWorks wireless probes into the meat, trying to keep them away from the bone, trying to keep them away from the rod so I can get a good accurate temperature. We'll see how those work out, but I think I got them positioned where I think I'll get good readings. And So I'll have this unit over here that's going to be sending the signal so I can monitor the temperature from my cell phone. And I think we are ready to go. So I'm going to get this into the Weber Kettle and get it spinning, and we'll add some of those Jealous Devil smoking blocks here, and we'll see what we do. All right, let's do this. I'm excited. Oh, there we go. And let's get this roast in there. Oh yeah, that's hot. There we go. All right, let's get it spinning. You can see that's rotating very nice and smoothly. Let's go ahead and add a couple of these blocks in there. I don't think I want to have them directly over the coals, just off to the side, so that way they'll create some smoke. And when we let this cook, we're definitely going to want to keep the lid down. I'll tell you that because with all the fat that's on the outside of this roast, as that fat starts to melt and drip into the fire, if you leave that lid off, then you're just going to get some flaming happening down there in the coals, and that flame's going to come up and it's going to also move onto your roast, and then pretty soon your roast is going to be engulfed in flames. So we definitely want to keep the lid on for the duration of this cook. And we're going to monitor the temperature wirelessly from the cell phone. Current time is 4:51 there in the old Thermo Pro clock. So let's see how long this takes. I'm going to just leave that lid down now and let her cook. Okay, so the time is 5:13. It's only been about 22 minutes since we got this going. I just want to let you have a quick look and let you see some of the smoke that's coming out of the little gaps here. That smoke is, a lot of it's from those Jealous Devil wood blocks that I put in there, and the aroma that those blocks are giving off is incredible. So I want to let you have a quick look here of what it looks like after about almost 25 minutes of cooking. And there we are. It's so far everything is looking great. We got fat dripping down into the coals below. There's no flare-ups. That's because the lid is on. Those blocks are over there doing their job, smoking nicely, nice and slow. So so far so good. I need to get this lid down. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you the temperature too, but then I went and raised the lid. Anyways, we've been holding it right around 350. It's down now because I just lifted the lid, let the heat out. And the one down here has also been showing right around 325, 350. Again, right now you can't see that because I had the lid open and the temperature dropped. But anyways, things are going great, and we're going to check back in when this is done. I want to show you something. The time is now 5:56, so it's been a little bit of over an hour, and I came out and I noticed there's a lot of smoke coming from the kettle. It's calmed down a little bit right now, but there was a lot of smoke. And I looked at the temperature gauge, and it was up over 400 degrees. I was like, uh-oh. So I took a peek under the lid. There was a little bit of active fire going on. What was happening was that the fat was dripping off of that roast into the coals, and that was a lot, and it was creating an actual flame inside. I'm gonna let you have a look at what we see right now, and oh yeah, we're looking really good. Okay, so there was a little fire going on, but you can see there is no char yet. It's still looking really good. We didn't have a problem, so just wanted to point that out, because what I needed to do is I came up here and I actually just closed down the air exhaust a little bit more. I just tightened it down a little bit so that would slow down the airflow and put those flames out. You can't have flames actively coming up underneath that roast, because pretty soon the roast will catch fire, and then you end up with a big chunk of charcoal spitting on that spit. So you can see now the temperature is down because I opened the lid. It's actually below 350 right now, but it is it's holding at about 350, and things are looking good there. So anyways, my point is, pay attention. If you see a lot of smoke going on, I saw it, I came out, I could hear the dripping, I can hear a little bit of fire, burning stuff inside there. I was like, uh-oh, choked it down a little bit. That takes care of the problem. Just wanted to point that out to you. So when you're cooking something big and fatty, like a roast like that, pay attention to that smoke, all right? Okay, time, it is now 6:36, and we are at 125 degrees, whereas 124.8. So it is time to go ahead and pull this roast off of the heat. You ready to have a look? I'm ready to have a look. Temperature, we're holding it 350, looking real nice on that one. This one is also showing right about 350. So let's go ahead and open up this lid. Up there goes the alarm right now. Yep. All right, here we go. Oh yeah. Oh, cradle. There we go. Oh wow. Hey, that looks good. Oh yeah, look at that fat sizzling right there. That is a beautiful sight. Absolutely beautiful. Can't wait to get this off the fire. We're gonna let it rest for a while, and then we're gonna be carving it up. All right, we got the flames coming up now. Let's go ahead and get this out of there. Whoa, yeah, that thing's heavy. Oh, one-handing it. There we go. Oh yeah, I love the sizzle there. That is looking great. We're gonna go ahead and tent this with some aluminum foil, and we're gonna let it rest for 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, so the roast has been resting for about 15 minutes now, and the temperature has come up to 142 degrees where that probe is. So that's called carryover cooking. The heat that's on the outside of the roast is working its way to the inside, so I'm totally sure this is gonna be in good shape here. Let's go ahead and start removing the probes and get this thing off of the spit. Loosen up the forks here and slide that. Oh, look how easy that is. Right out of there. Okay, there's a spit rod, and fork 1 is out, fork 2 is out, and we're going to transfer this over to the cutting board. There we go. And now it is time to carve this up. I'm excited. Okay, first thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and remove this roast from the bones that are right here. So all I'm going to do is just kind of place this blade right against those bones like that, and just start cutting and follow as close to the bones as I can. There we go. There's the inside. There's the bones. I'm going to take those off. And my favorite with these is just to separate them up into individual ribs. We'll go ahead and do that right now. Get a little bit of room here. All right. There's one. And there's the other two. That is beautiful. All right, I'm sorry, but I got to get me a bite of this, and then I'm going to continue carving off the rest of this so you can see what that looks like. But hey, here we go. Damn, that is good. Okay. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Oh, that is good. All right. Next, let's go ahead and carve right into this roast on the thick side over here. I'm going to take about a 1-inch slice off so we can see what we're looking at. And oh my goodness, would y'all look at that? That is freaking gorgeous. Wow. Well, I am liking what I'm seeing there. Let's go ahead and keep cutting. I should have brought out the big cutting board. Wow, that is beautiful. Let's take another slice off right here. And again, oh yeah. There's something about rotisserie that just really makes the meat cook so beautifully. Look at that. So juicy, so perfect. I want to get a slice from the inside here just so we can get an idea, you know, the flavor from that dry brining that I did. So here's a nice little juicy morsel from deep inside the roast. Look at that juiciness and dripping. It's perfectly cooked. That is gorgeous. I'm going to take a bite of this right now. This is the way to go. The flavor is incredible. The meat is just beautiful. That is a gorgeous roast. Can you get a quick close-up of this? Look at that. That is just absolutely perfection. I love it. Okay, so yeah. cooking it with the OnlyFire Rotisserie ring in the Weber Kettle with that Kingsford Charcoal and the Jealous Devil blocks. Man, I highly recommend this. This is a 1 year old frozen. This was a 1 year old frozen just block in the freezer, and I got to go eat the rest of this right now, or at least attempt to. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and share it with your friends. And make sure to stay tuned, because like I said, I've got a turkey coming up next in this thing. We're going to be doing a duck, and we're going to be doing a goose in the offset smoker. We're also going to be doing another pig, a small, probably about a 40 to 50 pound suckling pig in the offset smoker. And we're going to have some fun with that. Thank you very much for watching. And hey, have fun, my friends.